The story doesn't begin with answers. It begins with questions that refuse to stay silent. Season 20 of Heartland opens a new chapter where the past refuses to stay buried, the future feels uncertain, and every familiar face carries a secret they are not ready to share. What fans expect to be a continuation quickly turns into something deeper, more emotional, more fragile, and far more unpredictable. This season is not about moving forward easily. It is about what happens when moving forward hurts just as much as staying behind. Heartland Season 20 starts by slowing everything down. Instead of rushing into dramatic twists, the story chooses patience. The ranch feels the same on the surface, but something underneath has shifted. There is a quiet tension in the air, as if the land itself remembers everything that has happened and is waiting to see what comes next. The characters are not chasing excitement, they are trying to hold on to balance, and that struggle becomes the emotional foundation of the season. Amy Fleming enters this season changed. She is stronger, more confident, but also more guarded. The losses she has endured are no longer fresh wounds, yet they have never truly healed. Season 20 shows Amy trying to live a full life while carrying memories that still influence her choices. Every decision she makes, whether about the ranch, her family, or her heart, feels heavier. The audience can sense that Amy is standing at a crossroads, even when she doesn't say it out loud. She is learning how to lead without losing herself, and that journey is far from simple. The ranch itself becomes a reflection of the emotional state of the family. Horses arrive with their own scars, both physical and emotional, mirroring the people who care for them. These stories are not random. Each case Amy takes on quietly connects to her own internal struggles. Healing the horses becomes a way for her to confront emotions she has learned to bury. Season 20 uses these moments to remind viewers that healing is never quick, and it is never perfect. Jack Bartlett continues to serve as the emotional anchor of the family. His presence is calm, steady, and deeply reassuring. But even Jack is not untouched by the weight of the past. Season 20 shows him reflecting more than speaking, watching his family navigate challenges he knows too well. His wisdom is not delivered through long speeches. It is shown through restraint, patience, and the space he gives others to grow. Jack understands that some lessons cannot be taught. They must be lived. Lou Fleming's journey in this season leans into responsibility and consequence. She is balancing ambition with family, control with trust. Season 20 places Lou in situations where her instincts to protect clash with her desire to let go. Her story highlights a central theme of the season. Love does not mean control, and leadership does not mean having all the answers. Lou's choices will not always feel comfortable, but they feel real. As the first episodes unfold, the audience begins to realize that Season 20 is not building toward one single dramatic event. Instead, it is layering moments. Small looks, unfinished conversations, pauses filled with meaning. There is a sense that something important is approaching, but the show refuses to rush toward it. This slow build creates suspense of a different kind. Not the kind that relies on shock, but the kind that keeps viewers emotionally invested, waiting for the moment when everything finally comes into focus. Season 20 begins by asking a simple but powerful question. How do you move forward when the past still lives inside you? And as the story continues, it becomes clear that the answer will not be easy, quick, or clean. As the season moves forward, the emotional weight begins to deepen rather than explode. Heartland Season 20 carefully pulls viewers further into the inner lives of its characters, showing how unresolved feelings quietly shape everyday choices. Nothing feels rushed. Conversations pause before they finish. Words are held back. This is where the suspense lives, not in loud drama, but in what is left unsaid. The audience starts to sense that every character is standing on emotional ground that could shift at any moment. Amy's journey becomes more complex as she tries to protect the life she has rebuilt. She appears calm on the outside, focused on the ranch and Lindy, but the season slowly reveals how fragile that calm really is. Small moments, hesitation in her voice, the way she avoids certain topics, the way she watches people leave, carry enormous meaning. Amy is not afraid of love itself. She is afraid of what love costs when it is taken away. Season 20 allows the audience to feel that fear without ever spelling it out directly. Lindy plays a quiet but powerful role in shaping the emotional direction of the story. She is growing, observing and absorbing more than the adults around her realize. Her innocence does not erase the past, but it softens it. Through Lindy, the season explores how children sense emotional truth, even when adults try to hide it. Her presence brings warmth, but also responsibility. Every choice Amy makes now carries a deeper weight, because it shapes not only her future, but Lindy's as well. The ranch faces challenges that feel more personal than ever. These are not just business problems or training setbacks. They test trust, patience, and resilience. When things go wrong, characters are forced to confront their limits. Season 20 shows that strength does not always come from pushing harder. Sometimes it comes from admitting you cannot do everything alone. This lesson quietly repeats itself across multiple storylines, reinforcing the season's emotional core. Jack continues to observe more than he intervenes, but his silence speaks volumes. He recognizes patterns before others do. His concern is not loud, but it is constant. There is a sense that Jack understands something important is unfolding, even if he doesn't yet know how it will end. His faith in his family is steady, but it does not come without worry. This balance makes his character feel deeply human and deeply grounded. Lou's storyline introduces tension that feels both familiar and new. She wants progress, stability, and control, but Season 20 challenges her belief that she can manage everything through determination alone. Her decisions begin to ripple outward, affecting relationships in unexpected ways. The season does not judge her choices. Instead, it allows the consequences to speak for themselves. Lou's struggle becomes a reflection of a larger theme. Growth often requires discomfort, and sometimes the hardest lessons come from good intentions. As these stories weave together, the suspense quietly tightens. The audience feels that change is coming, but the show refuses to reveal its shape. Heartland Season 20 builds anticipation through emotional honesty rather than shock. Each episode adds another layer, another question, another reason to keep watching. By the end of this part of the journey, one thing becomes clear. The past is no longer knocking. It is already inside the house, and everyone must decide how to live with it. As the season continues, the emotional pressure reaches a point where avoiding the truth is no longer possible. Characters who once stayed silent are now forced to face feelings they believed they had buried for good. Heartland Season 20 slowly removes the emotional shields everyone has been hiding behind. What makes this part of the story powerful is that nothing happens all at once. The tension grows through quiet realizations, not dramatic explosions. Every look feels heavier. Every pause feels intentional. Amy finds herself confronting emotions she worked hard to control. The life she built was meant to protect her from pain, but now that protection begins to feel fragile, she starts questioning whether surviving is the same as truly living. Her strength is still there, but it is challenged in new ways. Season 20 shows Amy realizing that being strong does not mean feeling nothing. It means allowing yourself to feel, even when it hurts. This internal struggle becomes one of the most emotionally gripping parts of the season. Relationships across the ranch begin to shift. Trust is tested, not through betrayal, but through honesty that arrives later than it should have. Characters start saying things they once avoided, and those words change everything. Some bonds grow deeper because of this honesty. Others become strained. Heartland does not rush these changes. It lets them breathe, making each emotional shift feel earned and real. The audience is drawn in because these moments feel familiar, like conversations many people wish they had been brave enough to have. Lindy's role becomes even more meaningful as she begins to sense changes around her. She may not understand everything, but she feels the emotional shifts clearly. Her presence reminds everyone what is truly at stake. Season 20 quietly emphasizes that the choices made by adults shape the emotional world of children, even when those choices are meant to protect them. Lindy's reactions are gentle, but they carry weight, pushing Amy and others to think beyond their own fears. The ranch faces moments where things almost fall apart, not because of one big disaster, but because of emotional exhaustion. The pressure of carrying unresolved pain begins to show. Characters are forced to slow down, reflect, and ask themselves what they are truly fighting for. These moments add suspense because the audience understands that emotional burnout can be just as dangerous as any external threat. Jack's presence during this phase becomes deeply symbolic. He represents patience, endurance, and the understanding that life moves in seasons, not straight lines. His quiet support offers stability, but it also challenges others to step into their own truth. Jack does not fix problems for his family. He trusts them to face what needs to be faced. This trust becomes one of the most powerful forces in the season. By this point in Heartland Season 20, the audience realizes that the story is no longer about returning to how things were. It is about deciding what comes next. The suspense now lies in emotional choices rather than unexpected events. Viewers are left watching closely, knowing that the decisions made here will shape everything that follows. The calm may remain on the surface, but underneath it, lives are quietly being rewritten. The weight of everything that has been building finally begins to press down on the characters in ways they can no longer ignore. Choices feel heavier now, and consequences feel closer. Heartland Season 20 reaches a point where emotional distance is no longer possible. The characters may still move through their daily routines, but those routines are no longer safe places to hide. Every action carries meaning, and every silence feels intentional. Amy reaches a moment where she must decide what kind of future she truly wants. Not the future that feels safest, and not the one shaped by fear, but the one that feels honest. This is not an easy realization. It brings doubt, hesitation, and moments of quiet vulnerability. Season 20 treats this internal conflict with care, allowing Amy to struggle without rushing her toward clarity. The suspense comes from watching her stand on the edge of a decision she knows will change everything, even if she is not ready to name it yet. The emotional strain also begins to affect relationships across the ranch. Conversations become more direct, and patience wears thin. People who once relied on unspoken understanding now have to explain themselves. Some relationships grow stronger through this honesty, while others feel the strain of long-avoided truths. The season does not frame these moments as failures. Instead, they are shown as necessary steps toward growth, even when they are uncomfortable. Lou finds herself facing the limits of control. Situations arise where planning and determination are no longer enough. Season 20 challenges her to trust others in ways she has always struggled with. This loss of control is unsettling, but it also opens the door to deeper connection. Lou's journey during this phase highlights a central idea of the season. Strength is not always about holding things together. Sometimes it is about letting them change. Jack's role becomes even more meaningful as the emotional pressure increases. He remains steady, offering perspective without interference. His presence reminds everyone that storms pass even when they feel overwhelming. Jack understands that forcing answers too soon can do more harm than good. His quiet faith in the people around him becomes a source of comfort, not because it guarantees a happy ending, but because it allows space for one to exist. The ranch itself reflects this emotional turning point. Challenges arise that test trust and teamwork, pushing everyone to rely on one another more deeply than before. These moments are not about victory or loss. They are about resilience. Heartland Season 20 uses these challenges to show that progress often comes through strain, not ease. What matters is not avoiding hardship, but how people face it together. As this part of the season unfolds, the suspense reaches a different level. The audience senses that resolution is approaching, but nothing feels certain. There are no clear answers yet, only clearer emotions. The story keeps viewers engaged by refusing to promise comfort. Instead, it promises honesty. And in that honesty, Heartland continues to prove that its greatest strength lies in showing life as it truly is: messy, painful, hopeful, and always moving forward. The Heartland Season 20 unfolds like a slow-burning revelation, where every emotion, every choice, and every consequence converges into a moment of reckoning. By this point, the weight of past decisions, unspoken fears, and hidden truths cannot be ignored. The tension that has been simmering beneath the surface all season finally begins to demand attention, not through sudden shocks or dramatic events, but through the quiet, relentless pressure of reality pressing in on each character. This is where the season shows its depth, in the way ordinary moments are charged with extraordinary emotional significance. Every glance, every pause, every hesitation carries a weight that can feel almost unbearable, yet profoundly real. Amy faces the culmination of her journey in a way that is both subtle and seismic. She has carried the burden of absence, loss, and responsibility for years, and now she must confront what it means to truly move forward. The choices before her are not simple, and the consequences are far-reaching. Season 20 does not offer easy answers or quick resolutions. Instead, it allows Amy to wrestle with conflicting emotions, the pull of the past, and the possibilities of the future. The suspense here is internal, rooted in the audience's understanding of how deeply personal these moments are. Watching Amy navigate this terrain is not about predicting outcomes. It is about feeling the tension of living fully in a world where every decision matters. Lindy's role becomes even more crucial as the season approaches its climax. She embodies hope, innocence, and the possibility of continuity, yet she also carries the weight of observation. Through her eyes, the audience sees the subtleties of adult struggles made visible in small gestures, quiet exchanges, and fleeting expressions. Lindy reminds everyone that the choices made today shape the lives of those who will follow. Her presence is both a grounding force and a source of subtle suspense, an indicator that the future is being quietly rewritten, even amid uncertainty. The family dynamics reach new levels of complexity in this final stage of the season. Relationships that have been strained by distance, misunderstanding, and past mistakes are tested again. Characters are forced to confront truths that cannot be avoided, leading to moments of both tension and tenderness. Lou's journey through this part of the story emphasizes growth through surrender, illustrating that letting go of control does not mean giving up. It means making space for connection and understanding to emerge organically. She learns that leadership is not always about directing outcomes, but about allowing people to take responsibility for their own paths, while offering support and guidance. Jack's presence remains the calm center in the storm of emotions. He continues to provide stability, perspective, and quiet reassurance. His guidance is felt more than spoken. He does not rush resolutions, recognizing that life's complexities cannot be tidied with advice alone. Jack's steadiness underscores a recurring theme of the season. Strength is not measured by the absence of struggle, but by the ability to endure, to witness, and to provide space for healing to take root. Throughout the ranch, the season emphasizes resilience and emotional honesty. The challenges faced are not sensationalized, they are real, grounded in everyday life, yet charged with the significance of lived experience. Characters are pushed to their limits not by external threats, but by internal reckonings, forcing them to confront what they value, fear, and hope for. The suspense arises from knowing that the decisions made now will ripple far into the future, affecting relationships, opportunities, and the lives of those they love most. As the season nears its conclusion, it becomes clear that Heartland Season 20 is about more than resolution. It is about transformation. Characters are not promised a perfect ending. They are given the opportunity to face their truths, accept the complexity of their emotions, and step forward with authenticity. The tension is not resolved in a single moment, but lingers, inviting the audience to reflect on their own experiences of love, loss, and resilience. The final episodes are both emotionally satisfying and deeply thought-provoking, leaving viewers with a sense of completion that is honest rather than tidy. In the end, Season 20 delivers a story that is as much about what is left unsaid as it is about what is spoken. The quiet, careful attention to character, emotion, and relational nuance makes this season one of the most layered and compelling in Heartland's history. The suspense, though subtle, is omnipresent, driven not by plot twists, but by the human heart, by the slow unfolding of courage, vulnerability, and hope. As the curtain falls on this chapter, the audience is left not with shock or surprise, but with the profound satisfaction of witnessing characters confront life in all its messy, beautiful truth, and emerge with a deeper understanding of themselves and each other. This section carries the weight of everything the season has built: unspoken truths, personal growth, fragile reconciliations, and the persistent reminder that moving forward requires both courage and compassion. It leaves viewers ready to imagine what the future holds, while savoring the authenticity of every step taken to get here. The story of Heartland Season 20 may be coming to a close, but the emotions, lessons, and moments of reflection linger long after the screen goes dark. This season reminds us that life is rarely simple. Love is never without complications, and healing is a journey rather than a destination. Each character has faced challenges that test their strength, patience, and courage, and in witnessing their struggles and triumphs, we are reminded of the quiet resilience within ourselves. Heartland doesn't rely on dramatic twists or sudden surprises. It finds its power in the subtle, the real, and the deeply human. As the season wraps up, it's clear that the past and the present coexist in ways that shape the future. Amy, Lou, Jack, Lindy, and everyone on the ranch have shown us that true growth comes from honesty, presence, and the willingness to face life's uncertainties with an open heart. The story leaves us reflecting on our own lives, our own challenges, loves, and losses, and how they guide the choices we make each day. The suspense, the emotions, and the quiet triumphs of Season 20 linger because they are not just stories. They are reflections of what it means to love, to grieve, to hope, and to continue moving forward, even when the path is unclear. Heartland Season 20 closes this chapter, but its lessons remain. It reminds us that family is not just about shared blood, but about the connections we nurture, the forgiveness we extend, and the presence we offer to one another. It teaches us that strength is not measured by what we avoid, but by how we endure, embrace, and grow through life's inevitable trials. As the dust settles on this season, the ranch stands as a symbol of continuity, resilience, and hope. A place where the past is honored, the present is embraced, and the future is open to possibility. For fans, Season 20 is more than entertainment. It's an experience of emotion, reflection, and connection. It encourages us to slow down, notice the subtle moments, and appreciate the complexity of the people and relationships around us. And though the screen may fade to black, the impact of these stories continues, reminding us that every ending is just the beginning of another chapter. If you've felt the emotions, experienced the suspense, and connected with the characters this season, don't forget to share your thoughts. Join the conversation, celebrate the moments that moved you, and carry the lessons Heartland has shared into your own life. This is the magic of the show, its ability to touch hearts long after the story has ended. Season 20, Bassie, may be over, but its echoes will remain, guiding, inspiring, and reminding us of the power of love, family, and resilience.